something else there. Another stun is another disable is pretty good, but the Beastmaster, if he rolls properly, can be pretty decent too. Alliance, what will they ban? They're alright, Jakiro. This is also a hero that's pretty good right now. Also decent versus the Furion.
It's the classic, like the 1 or 2 years ago, it was like the Furion offlane. How'd you deal with it? You pick a Jakiro. And you don't care about the tree.
And it's also another way of helping the egg. You have this huge AoE stun in the Ice Path. The combo is really, really good. And the amount of magical damage that they would have just from those 2 supports would instantly force most of them to just go for early BKBs. So it's a pretty solid ban.
The question we have here... Oh, they go instant ogre, okay. The question we have here is... I don't know what the question was. My mind's gone blank, man.
Okay, we see...
no, okay. Okay, I was gonna say about the Grimstroke, right? And then like I see the ogre, and I just fall in love with the hero. So my mind just went to Jelly. Oh, look at him! Look at the curves on this ogre, man. He's beautiful.
You like a bit of curves, yeah?
Look at it. Just look at it.
Watch
I don't
it
need
twerk,
to say anything.
see what it can do with that.
Exactly. Maybe the animation of this ogre could, you know...
A bit of junk in the trunk. We'll find out what Teacup's enjoyments are right now.
At this point, I'm just saying yes to anything you say. You could...
I will stop then, because if you keep saying yes to anything I say, this could end very badly for you, Teacup.
Thank you. No, but I really like the resurgence of ogre in this patch. We got a Viper. But yeah, it's
the resurgence of Viper.
No, the resurgence. Yeah, oh God, the brutes. This is some, you know, completely opposite of the first game. The first game was like loosey-woosey, go around the map, you know, hit a tower here, try and force a rotation, PL farms behind the pockets, and now Nigma just have this like all-out ability just to run at you. Like my point about the ogre was the fact that he's a support hero, naturally strong in lane, and he's that pseudo ward that we've seen so many times before. Back in when Puppy with Secret, how he plays it, he runs up the high ground, gives you this way just to understand the procedure of a fight.
It's not your vengeful. It's not your position 5 that needs to stand in the right position to swap. Just run in. You're a stupid ogre. Just run in.
Well, half of you stupid, the other half not.
The other half has got the smarts, right?
Or a screw loose. I don't really know, actually.
It's an ogre. Damn,
it's still an ogre, no matter which way we put it.
It's also cool that they have Ogre with the Viper, which is going to give him a Bloodlust. Then you have the Beastmaster Aura as well, which can make this Viper actually a pretty fearsome hero in the late game. But mostly it's that laning stage, and later on you have this hero that is able to run in first to give you enough info for that Beastmaster and Phoenix to play around. Viper obviously has been picked because of the Bristleback as well, as you have that break with another Toxin. Just pretty solid to have. But overall, we don't see a lot of Vipers recently, and
I think they might want to ban Invoker on the side. I don't know if they have. I didn't see it as the screen went over. But thinking of like the classic Viper matchups, there was I can't remember what interview it was, but it's like, what hero do you think can actually lane against this? Like the aggression, and it's Invoker because you naturally have good HP regen. You go for Vessel, so you can play against him, and also you can always take away his mana, and he's kind of fundamentally built around that. And it also plays really well into the concept of aggression. This hero, we saw OG run it, and it dismantled this early aggression, which this is kind of what Nigma's doing, but Nigma have provided 4 heroes that can move and play together and be very strong, and the Sven just free farms in the pockets behind. But I think Invoker, okay, they go for more.
And they go with a more stable
it's a win condition now.
Yeah, it's a win condition, more stable counter to the Sven as well. With that Skadi build, it can be very problematic.
So are we seeing more positives once again here from Nigma, or has this just turned it with the Morphling, guys?
I kind of feel like I want to say I prefer Nigmas, because it's still the question of how are you killing this Viper? You need an early Vessel, and they might not be able to close out the Sven too early on, because Sven's going to have a good lane, especially paired with the Ogre.
And they have a lot of control now for that Phoenix as well. You have the Beast, you have the Nether Toxin, which is always around there. You have Ogre with the stun, Sven with the stun. It looks solid, but we do see 2 heroes that are not played at all. We see that Sven and we see that Viper. How well will they be able to fare? If they manage to shut down this Bristleback early on, I think this game will be easy for Nigma. But if Bristleback goes out of control and he's actually the one in front and Sven struggles in the laning stage, they just won't stand a chance later on.
I think the main question maybe might actually be the speed in which Alliance can play. They're going to be very high tempo. The Fury will be bouncing around the map, and then Nigma on the other hand, again, Viper naturally a slow hero. Sven, he needs to farm for quite a long time before he really comes online. So there might be a big disparity in which how many numbers can Nigma bring to a fight, what really is their damage output. They're still waiting for Sven the entire time. Alliance can always bring 4 very strong heroes. Morph can maybe join the earlier fights. So yeah, I think maybe... I'm so torn actually.
This is quite fun though, for the first time you actually seem torn on this.
Kinda, because I feel, yeah. Lizard, say something so I can continue.
He needs to keep thinking, he needs some more time. Lizard, help him out.
These cogs are turning right now.
I'll go back to what Loda also said. Like the laning stage will be very important here too. The way they set up their lanes, because Alliance, we talked about it earlier, they have a lot of flexibility with their first 3 picks. If they put something that can punish Sven and Ogre in that laning stage, perhaps not the Furion on the offlane. What do you think? Perhaps the 5 FNG.
Maybe. After all that consideration, I'm going to go with Alliance, because I think now I think about it, even after the fights and all this, I think they rely so heavily on Beastmaster being their tower push that Alliance might be able to prolong it enough that Morphling is the win condition.
All right, the commentators are ready. You've chosen Alliance. Lizard, which way are you going? Real quick for me.
I love Alliance's draft, but let's make it fun. Let's stay
You're just going for the wildness. So what you really
let's
mean,
keep it wild in the panel.
What you really mean is Alliance is the pick for you, but you're going for Nigma just to be different.
Yeah, I'm a hipster. That's it.
He's not a weeb, but he is a hipster. This is the way we're going. What's this?
You have a Morph v Viper matchup. Morph becomes Viper. Viper doesn't become a hero. Yeah, Alliance is winning this game.
That's also
Alliance has won this
strong.
game, lads. I'm sorry. Notepad's gone down.
All right,
Enjoy,
the notepads are down. Our analysts are finished, but it's time for us to listen to Toby and Loda once again to see what they think of this matchup and how they think it's going to go. Toby, talk to me, man.
Hi. Hi, are you doing okay? I'll talk to you. I can ignore Loda if that's what you'd like.
I'm just listening to your voice. Just want to hear you more, you know. I just enjoy it. I miss you.
Okay.
We just get cut.
That's not weird at all. That's wonderful. Let's talk to Dota. Let's talk to the people out there. I'd like to say we'd actually be discussing the draft in heavy detail, and we sort of have until the last 2 minutes when we looked at this set from Weeha and just questioned everything that Viper is. It's not right. We'll have a closer look at it in a second, because right now we're going to have a bit of a battle for the top bounty rune at least. Or we could have no battle for the top bounty rune. All right, we can go and look at this Viper set. I don't know if the cameraman from WePlay is currently listening in and just wants to go on perspective mode for Viper, but what the hell did we do to this hero?
No, I agree. I mean, it's even more amazing now that I look in the game that he looks a little bit like Dragonite as well. So there's like 4 or 5 heroes that they...
It's a platypus, right? Like, it's a platypus. I guess it's a little bit of everything from a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he enjoys being alive.
It really is. It's something horrific. The cameraman's not sticking with us on this, so if you want to go to Dota TV and have a look at it, then go for that. Eventually we'll have a closer look at him and you can just be in awe and shock and horror.
Yeah.
But we have an aggro trial, so let's talk about Dota and less about cosmetics. I get in trouble for that. So we got Huntskin as well as FNG hanging around the top lane. Normally things like this happen and then you TP out to the lanes, but they're letting bottom lane Bristle go 1v2 against Phoenix as well as the Brewmaster. That feels a little rough unless they can get a kill on top, and they're looking at Kuro. The Stormbolt will fly out. Just a quick little stun on Hanskin. He's got a lot of damage, however. Kuro dropping very, very low. Miracle trying to take the attention away, and now the attention really does go in towards Miracle under the tier 1 tower. Hanskin will begin the dive. He may actually... No, he won't die to this. He'll end up surviving. So first blood against the Sven pickup of Nigma.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot to be said about this game. I mean, as you heard me earlier saying, when I saw this Bristle being followed by counter-pick Viper from Nigma, I was a little bit worried because it did look like we were considering putting Bristle on +1. But I think this last pick Morph really salvaged the draft. It gives us a clear win condition. And you also make it... You're less happy about being the counter to BB at this point. I also think that the way we laned is...
and P's in mid.
LST,
Slim? Initiated on. There's a lot of cool spray stacks up. GH trying to keep his distance, so Limp will go down, and this is now a lane switch up time. Mind control. He wants to head up towards the top lane and join up with Kuro.
Yeah, really good rotation for Miracle here. I think
Mid matchup's a little funky too. Like Viper versus Nature's Prophet. We're seeing some unique combinations of this mid lane happening.
Yeah, no, but I think, I mean, at least for early levels, I think Prophet should be completely fine. As for being an old school mid player back in the day as well, should help a little bit. So I think things are fine. But as I said, I think Miracle's rotation to offlane is it's really the right play. It's kind of what should be expected in a sense. If they make this rotation without getting a kill for it, I mean, it's still the right rotation, but it's doesn't really give the same impact in the game.
God, we once have a lot of fun with S4 in mid lane. He just finished farming up a big stack, and S4 is ticking down. He just TP's back home. Luckily, he could just teleport back to the mid lane as well. That's a little bit of an upside for him.
Yeah. No, I think that now that Viper is getting some levels, it's gonna get more and more difficult for Prophet to lane against him.
Look at him TP in. S4? Huh. He took a second to turn around and look at Weeha.
I saw the gold.
I guess I'll take money.
Yeah.
Micro Control's having a real rough time. He walked all the way up to top lane, and now it's like, I'm going to go jungle, or cut wave, or I'm going to do anything other than staying in this lane. While on bottom lane, Nigma now have an aggressive tri-lane against Pango Bristle. That's not right. That's not right.
It's a brother of Bristle.
No, maybe they can kill off Hanskin. He's pretty low, keeping the sprites flying forward from GH. You go for an Icarus dive, gonna cop a tower hit while he does so. And Sven, too many stacks. They actually fought into Limp's Bristleback with two melee heroes who now have a very hard time escaping. Nico Baby's tipping him because, you know, like, go for it, teammate. Go and find these kills under tower, kill off Kuro. Mind Control's lives gone from bad to worse as S4 and FNG managed to gank him inside their own jungle. I'm uncertain what Nigma feel like they're going to get out of these lanes now, apart from mid.
Yeah, it's for sure looking rough from the laning stage. I mean, this is kind of what I meant, right? Like, as for sure, he might be losing mid a little bit, but by doing that, he's making sure that Bristol has a game. And Limp, who would have been a non-factor, I mean, he's been able to have almost a dream time here in bot lane.
This really is the nightmare for like when you're on panels, like, well, how are these lanes really going to pan out? What's the first 5 minutes going to look like after you actually see, like, who's going to match up where, who settles into what lanes? Like, well, okay, well, Nature's Prophet versus Viper mid. Yep, never going to predict that one. Limp looking to get one item in front, being enabled by having two melee heroes run the lane against him. S4's going to rotate over too. He's got Sprout available, wants to block the ramp up. And Kuro, well, is he going to get in front of him? Okay, he blocked him, but then they cut free. The Sprout needs to get in front of Kuro to make that 100% of a kill. And Kuro, Limp, just one more spray in 1 second. He's got it. It'll reach, and Kuro will fall. And then S4 quickly back to the mid lane as well, trying not to miss out on too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a good rotation. I'm not sure if it's super worth to kill Ogre, but at the same time, S4 gets back to mid in time to get the XP and creeps, getting the reading room there as well.
By Mind Control. This is not a hero you really want to sacrifice on as a Beastmaster, but Nico Baby now has 2 kills. It's in top net worth by about 900 gold ahead of any hero on Nigma.
Yeah.
And Nigma trying to change the balance around. But once again, like, this is another time I've seen Weeha do this rotation. An Observer Ward planted down by Alliance, almost full duration, sees the movement, and Alliance hide behind the tower.
Yeah. No, I think it's... this Observer is huge. Catching out these rotations, I mean, as you say, it makes it look... You know, it could have been a great rotation. They could... Let's see what happens first before I say...
And GH wants to look for it. Limp's going to come out and fight. Is there any more TPs to come in? You look for S4 to arrive. He's got Wrath of Nature up too. GH feeling very, very stranded behind the tower. And Wrath of Nature will connect. And he'll just Icarus dive to the west. But Hanskin sticks with him with a level 2 swashbuckle. Able to reach and find the kill on the retreating Phoenix. And you can look towards the mid lane at S4. Oh, he'll TP all the way home. don't know if that was fully essential, but I guess it'll work.
But it was still so frustrating, man. They rotate 3 heroes in a sense to mid. Can't stop him. They only have 1 disable, and S4 just TPs out.
And Nico just took tier 1 tower on top. You're leaving the Morph lane. Nico, one of his best heroes for Alliance, now mind control. Welcome back to a lane and welcome back to the graveyard. I don't think even Yu-Gi-Oh can save you at this point.
It's looking rough for Nigma, for sure. I mean, I do think it's the huge issue. There's been many issues, but I do think one huge issue is when they rotate this trial into bottom lane against a bristleback, where they don't even have the best tools to completely keep him out of it. So laning phase has been such a struggle from their side.
Oh, miracle. The Observe Ward pays dividends again. It just watches the Sven farm up. You've still got the level 3 Frostbite available, a Sprout control from S4. Make sure the Miracle can't just run down the hill. And nicely controlled by FNG. He didn't let the Frostbite go until they knew they could get the kill, just in case there was a TP out to safety. Limp. Sunray's turned on, and we'll see if maybe UV can kill off Limp, and it will. He'll go down for 3-3-3. And Weeha wants a little bit more. With the double damage rune, that's why they had so much damage to get in there. They're chasing down an H's Prophet who's already got treads up and running. Yep, not gonna happen. Now there's 3 heroes from Nigma just hovering around mid lane. Morphling uncontested on top. Stretching further on the lead. Beastmaster has less net worth than that of the Phoenix.
I wonder if Limp is considering going for 4-staff this game. I mean, it's kind of a weird pickup, I think, but it's also, I think it's gonna.
What are you looking at it for? Like against?
I mean, the thing is, Viper corrosive. What do you even call it? Corrosive haste? No. Nether toxin, right?
Nether toxin now.
I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that really screws him in this game. If you can just force yourself out of that, it's gonna be trouble.
Nico's got all the damage in the world for this. Waveforms forward. That's optimistic 6 charges from Kuro. Yeah, I get your logic. Like, try and get free of the break, but it seems like you can also just build up like a whole bunch of resistance too.
I mean, sure. I mean, the thing, what should usually happen is that you have a support who builds force either way, and you're gonna have enough. But I could still see it work, honestly.
They're gonna try to take a fight here. Miracle. They're going on a pretty damn hard target. It's Morphling. He'll waveform away. At least you're able to contest up the stack, but Wrath of Nature bounces through. They turn on the Sunray. Nico Baby, he's looking for a quick pickoff. S4, no way he gets out of this. Really? Yeah. Just TP and retreat. Alliance will claim the bounty runes on the bottom lane. A regeneration rune for Limp because, hey, why not? And S4 adds pressure to the tier 1 tower on bot while Nigma try and work out why they're not so mobile or why they don't have as much farm as they would like.
Yeah, and then Alliance are making it look easy. I really don't think it is, but they're executing this really well and they're not really leaving much room for mistakes.
Hanskin's going deep. Wants to lock GH up against the wall, but of course this is a Phoenix. Gets bounced up the wall. Not a full flight bird, but it'll work.
Kind of saved him. Chicken.
It's like an emu.
Emu? I barely know what that is. See, almost like that. Oh yeah, those are the big scary ones, right? The attacked. The emu war.
No.
Is that true?
No. Parts of it, yeah, but you're not scared of it. Like, come on.
Oh really? No, I thought so. I thought there was
it's a flightless bird. Come on, like, build a fence.
Yeah, but an ostrich is flightless. If there was an army of ostriches, I would run for my life.
An ostrich can get some level of elevation. An emu is equipped with wings like a pigeon. It's not gonna get a lot of height.
Alright. Guess I'll just have to wait for Corona to be over and go study the emu.
Yeah, go to W Zoo. It's a beautiful safari zoo in Australia. You'll find everything you want there. Nigma just want to find 1 kill, and they'll try and go over on the Morphling. They need a stun. They didn't really start with it, however. Now they'll get it off, but turn on the Sunray. It's like, let you burn a little bit harder if you want to turn the strength up. Nico Baby will be killed off, and Mind Control is the man to get the kill. Never fully sack Mind Control.
Yeah, no, and very important kill for Nigma right there. I think that if he would have survived, that would kind of been a nail in the coffin mentally. But now them getting that kill, I think it shows that they can kill people if they just rotate enough. Nico a little bit out of position, maybe, thinking he's unkillable. But yeah, I still think it's not a big deal for our game. Or, I mean, Alliance's game.
Alliance are definitely comfortable. The Vanguard's almost done for Limp. That's what happens when you get a free bottom lane. He's still like only the third highest net worth on the field. Like an E-Blade by 14 minutes is currently the timing for Nico. This is just ridiculously fast.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just been so much else going on this game that Alliance have done well that we haven't really paid so much attention to Nico. But as you've said, even with that death, he's having a dream game.
Yeah. And the Lions a lot more observant of outposts this game. Also a nice thing. Bottom lane, we're going to put Limp to the test. The Vanguard has been completed. That's why he moved up to buy it. But Ogre's here, Viper's here. Drop everything you've got. Break the bristle on the back of the bristle. However you want to try and like order those words, it'll work.
Imagine a 4-staff right there.
I am imagining a 4-staff right there.
He would have survived for longer at least.
Hey, no one's ever going to debate you. You just say like, hey, did you win a TI? Yeah, get 4-staff on bristle.
Yeah. I think the problem with winning a TI is like for every year it goes since you won a TI, it doesn't really. The argument doesn't.
All right. You just need to put in the chat. It's like, all right, put a 1 in chat if you remember Loader winning TI. Put a 2 in chat if you don't remember who Loader is.
Exactly. I'm just this crazy old man sitting here and telling people to go 4-staff on bristle. Like.
Yeah, you go talk about the good times with Zenith. Viper underneath the sentry ward. They've got extra detection. Yup. Just pushing around Weeha. Trouble for FNG means he's a sacrifice. Supernova in a fantastic position up on the hill. It's not stopping Hanskin from just jumping forward and Limp. Wanting to keep the battle going. He will get stunned on the edge. And Kura TPing out. Nope. Not going to happen. Not in time, at least. S4 is on the hunt looking for mind control. 3 deaths is not enough. He needs to make the magic number 4. A Sprout in the tree line will be able to reveal this. Most people even remember what that meme is. Hawk up from mind control. At least he'll get some information. S4 doesn't have it just yet. Walks around the corner, but mind control. Well, he's juking it, but S4's worked it out. Mind control will complete the TP. S4 having no stuns, no disable.
He was not giving up on that chase. TPs are expensive nowadays, you know? Have to make them use it.
You know, he said, what was it, 15 minutes on the dot for Morphling. Waveforms in. He's still holding the E-Blade. Pops it. Ooh, working with Limp. And Hanskin, that's not going to work. You need to be a second later. Now the damage can be done from S4 to kill off Weeha.
Yeah, that was...
It's like, oh, I got level 4 swashbuckle kills it. Oh.
Yeah. So for you that don't understand that, swashbuckle does not do damage through E-Blade.
And it is physical. It does not work. This time you'll get the swashbuckle out, and then again, no stuns available. Maybe even worth picking up a Yule Scepter here, S4, and then everyone keeps TPing out in front of you.
Yeah, please don't. No, I understand the frustration.
Yeah, but please build a 4-staff over.
Yes, that's true though. If you would have done a 4-staff. Because we have 0 4-staffs right now.
Oh, Miracle's in trouble. A Rolling Thunder is off and running, and Miracle just tries to juke around it, but Hanskin will finish the job. Finds the kill, and then they can just back up to the lanes.
Yeah, it's just so difficult for Nigma to get any openings here. As we spoke about, when the laning phase doesn't go their way, they don't have the best tools for getting out on the map. At the same time, we have Prophet who can TP around, be wherever he wants. As far as applied a lot of pressure with the hero.
Speaking of which, TP's into Roshan. 5 heroes together. There is a Beastmaster Hawk that was able to scout this out. Has managed to live a little longer. But Mind Control won't have a fresh one to go down the pit before Roshan dies. In fact, Nigma can't get there in time before Roshan dies, even with the 3-man smoke. And this seems like an easy, hey, let's run up mid lane. Time to play.
It is. I think it is that timing. We're gonna see if they're able to kill Bristleback before the fight starts. with a good nether toxin and some stuns on top of that, I think they can win the fights. If not, it's almost impossible for them to execute this.
I like Nigma's idea about it though. Like you said, my controller was the top lane, push towards the tier 1 tower. If Alliance do want to push down mid, trade a tier 1 for a tier 2. Maybe you got enough wave clearance, but you can slow down Alliance's pressure and play the split push game. I'm uncertain about this from GH, however. He's underneath the Radiant Obs and Sentry. You got all the time in the world to react to this.
Yeah, I don't really...
S4 jumps in, throws out the Orchid, but alright. That's an easy way to get free.
Some really confident
hold on to a tango, get rid of the fish, and this is why the battle happened.
It's not that bad. Like he actually almost tricked us to take a fight there.
That's a pretty aggressive jump forward. He's already down very low on his life, and then the rolling thunder through from Hanskin. They've already got the kill onto GH. Another bounce through on top of Viper. He still has never got this nether toxin off, and he won't. Down for 30 seconds, up on top. S4's TP out will not complete in time. A huge streak to end, and it goes to Kuro. Probably not the intended target, but you take the kill.
Yeah, I mean, it looked a bit weird, but I do think that Nigma tried to kind of bait us into taking a fight there versus 4 heroes. Kind of, I don't know, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot though by how things end up. But they do get S4 later on from their rotation to top lane, so they're probably, at least, they feel like it's a worthy trade.
Mm-hmm. And My Control starts the push once again, up on top. Trying to get a look behind themselves. FNG has an observe ward, so he's just hanging very, very close, looking for the right time to initiate Miracle. It'll be hard to escape from this one. Disarm to begin with. Now Prophet will TP in. They get the silence and the clumsy net control. Maybe Sunray from GH will give just enough life, but nope, E-Blade attack will do its work. Not to mention the double swashbuckle, making it difficult for Nigma to retreat. Hanskin still bouncing forward with that blink dagger. It's right on top of Kuro. The trade-off is Mind Control getting the tier 1 tower on the top lane, but you may also lose Viper on bottom. E-Blade can't come up just yet. In fact, there's not enough mana for it, but it won't matter. Viper.
Yeah, we haven't even talked. We haven't even mentioned this, but Morph is, you know, he's kind of the counter to Viper, right? When he copies Viper. Yeah, exactly. So it's and he was trying to get the ward up there. It's a very rough position to be in right now. I mean, Alliance just have such a huge advantage at this point that I feel that they have the room to play a little bit recklessly. I'm happy to see that they're taking towers and, you know, at least keep applying pressure, not just going for kills. But they're in a very good position, without a doubt.
That was a nice timing from S4. He was denied in the last game, but this game he actually gets the outpost before Nigma can do anything about it.
Yeah.
So no 20-minute bonus for Nigma.
He was probably thinking about that the whole game one, you know, I'm going to pick the Prophet and I'm going to take this outpost.
Oh, I know how you played this game, Mind Control.
Yeah, but Mind Control, he did do a really good job there. So it's, I mean, it's something simple that makes sense, right? But it's, once you start playing around it, it makes more sense.
Mind Control done a pretty good job of catching up. Oh, GH. 100 HP, he just puts down, okay, S4, Sprout, 2 attacks, that'll do the job. GH will end up going down, so no Nova to deal with. Morphling started it with the E-Blade attack. Limp wants his own target. Viper trying to retreat back out. Nico Baby staying on top of Viper. He just ready to fight once again. Waveforms up. Stormhammer will be able to connect. But you've already lost Viper. The mid tower's being brought down by S4. And up on top lane, Pangalier's having some fun with the Beastmaster. Keep the stuns going, have all the damage in the world. Mind Control is just trying to create space, but 3 heroes now down for Nigma, and Alliance 21 minutes in enter the high ground.
Yep, extremely well played by Alliance. I mean, it's not much else to say. I think that they laned it correctly, they rotated correctly, and they played it, itemized it correctly. So it's just a really, really solid game from their side. Nigma, I mean, we've seen them have some issues in their previous games. I mean, I do think that, especially game 1, I kind of like what they were doing with their draft.
Gonna go on Bristle. He's got 1 charge as well as BKB. Aegis Immortal did just time out, but Pangolier jumping in a little bit deeper. Nico just also picked up himself a Lincoln Sphere, so Kuro is done, goes begging, but the roll from Mind Control, that'll connect over on the Morphling, but he's still getting so much more life. You can break him if you want, but Limp's BKB running forward. Cool Sprays are really starting to stack up. Crystal Maiden will die, but she's pretty squishy as it is. The Necro books, oh, Limp, that's a lot of damage to take by killing it off, but it won't stop Pangolier. Once again, jumping forward, they break the Viper with the Morphling. He goes in with the E-Blade. No, he's just physically damaging it down the old-fashioned way. As the two big calls from Nigma are down, and Nico, he wants to find himself a pop target. Kuro's going to be exactly that. Just jump over the Stun Ray. GH trying to turn as fast as he possibly can, but the Adaptive Strike pushing back GH, so ESC4 can finish the job, and they may just want to call it in just a second. Beastmaster is hanging inside the pit. I don't know if Nigma see a way out of this one. I can tell you right now, the win probability is just 99-1. So, I don't know what the one is.
This one is, yeah, the one is pretty much just going fountain diving, I think. No flaming intended. I want to point out though, I didn't even know Clumsy Net, the way it interacts with Tangled, that you can use it and still keep rolling. Obviously you're immune to magic, so it makes sense, but it was very, very good item for him. Makes sense.
As long as you can dodge the bounce back, you're all good.
Yeah.
Well, 2 lanes of Rax has been taken. I guess Nigma get to have one more fight to see what they can achieve against a team who's got about 27,000 net worth advantage and about 24,000 experience advantage. Definitely seems like the backs are up against the wall. But they're staying in it, so they have some level of belief. 4 hero smoke up from Nigma. They're coming out and they're looking for the long wrap around, and the target they'll probably find is Limp. But that's a BK, unless they find FNG. That would be actually worse. They want more. S4. Man the front lines, hearing the Rolling Thunder begin. Limp actually catches Weehar in the back lines. Ogre already stunned up, never even able to get his roar off or his Necroporks. Beastmaster is dropped. That's really the game. You just TP'd Weehar all the way home. GG is called from Kuro. Alliance will 2-0 the series. And with that, they guarantee that Nigma is in the bottom 3. They now have the same results as OG. There's only one